here, and this is the Nintendo Switch 2, a device I got last night.
Look at it! I want all you to look at it. You told people that Nintendo was anti-consumer, but yet for some reason you had one pre-ordered. Even with all these hateful videos that you dropped on Nintendo, talking about $80 games and games ain't on the cartridge, with game key cards, but yet for some reason you still went out there and picked one up. Let me guess the excuse. I'm a professional gaming journalist. I gotta review these things on my channel, but then you want to go as far to complain about, the lack of physical media. I mean, you're going as far to support anti-consumer practices just so you can keep your AC on low, man. Do you understand how low this is after you made all these hateful videos towards Nintendo, and yet you went out there and picked one up? Some dude probably watching your channel probably canceled his pre-order, and Dreamcast guy walked out with one like Wario. Like, what is you doing, man? Like, this is absolutely pathetic, man. You are the DSP of gaming and entertainment, man. I'm sorry, bro, when it comes to commentary, because at this point, bro, there's not a person, well, there's probably a few, that take you even remotely seriously in this community. Like I said, man, if you was going to go pick one up, I honestly would respect more of a content creator like Nintendo Prime before a channel like yours, because you know why? They say they love Nintendo, and they, regardless if it's anti-consumer or not, they go out there and still continue to support that company. But you go as far to hate on Nintendo, and then you go pick one up by giving them your money? You think Nintendo cares if you hate their product? You could have took a stand on it, but no. Oh no, we don't vote with our wallet. This is why the gaming community ain't nothing but a laughing stock. And like I said before, the Concord developers were right about y'all. Y'all some talentless freaks.
I decided to play it pretty much nonstop. I've just spent...
Like, you had this pre-ordered, even with all those hateful videos that you had coming out, bro. We can go back to them. Like, why would you even lie to your audience, telling people it's $80, the game's on the game key card, Switch 2 backwards compatibility don't work with the Switch 1 correctly, the games don't work according to the plans. And yet he got a Switch 2 in his hands.
The last 12 hours playing every exclusive, every new feature, testing stuff out, popping off Joy-Cons and stuff, and I gotta say that immediately, even after that first 12 hours, I kind of regret...
You're trying to tell me that you picked this up at midnight and then you continue to play 12 hours? Let me guess, probably running on your little treadmill, right? Bro, there's no way in hell that you finished remotely any of those games in that console, especially considering that Nintendo said you couldn't activate it. You couldn't play none of the games that you got until a certain time limit. Matter of fact, people had the digital copy of Mario Kart World and they had to wait till, in some places, 3 a.m. to access the game that they purchased. And for some reason, you was able to do all this within 12 hours? On a new device that just came out? Okay.
Buying it. This thing just feels like it really lacks that Nintendo spark, that charm, that specialness that made...
But yet you're sitting there with one in your hand.
Original Nintendo Switch so great. This thing, honestly, feels lazy. But let me explain why I'm saying that and why I feel like this system... it really exists to make money more than be fun.
Well, they made your money. You had no problem giving Nintendo your money. Oh, I'm a journalist. I gotta do this. This is my career. Bro, listen. As far as I'm concerned, career or not, at the end of the day, we already knew these things that you're about to say in this video. So to me, that is completely irrelevant. You could have put your foot down and said, you know what, I'm not supporting this. But nope, of course Dreamcast guy did it because it's his career. Right? Is that the excuse that we're going to use as content creators? Hey, I didn't pick one up, and you guys know I didn't. I told you, I'm going to probably get one on the secondhand market. I'm not giving Nintendo my money directly for the Switch 2. At least not right now, currently, based off the situation as to what's going on here. Like, this is why gaming is just, to me, as right now, I don't care about it. This is why I don't even consider it a genuine hobby for me, because look at you. People like you is what ruins it. And then you complain, $100, $200, but you guys know you're going to accept this mediocrity. That's why these companies laugh at you and do these anti-consumer practices, because they know that you guys are going to buy it anyway.
The biggest upgrade to this, the thing that I feel like makes it instantly out of the box feel like an improvement, is that really big screen. This is only technically almost 1 inch bigger. Oh
man, I'm gonna tell my girlfriend, like, hey, I'm 1 inch bigger. That makes so much of a difference. Forget the motion in the ocean. Let's talk about how mine is 1 inch bigger than the rest of y'all Nintendo Switches. It really makes that much of a drastic difference. That 1 inch.
The original Nintendo Switch had a 7-inch screen. This thing has a 7.9-inch screen. Now, you might think that...
So it ain't even the 4-inch.
An inch bigger might not feel that substantial, but when it's actually in your hand, this thing feels like a very, very beefy boy. So last night I played all night. I was playing all sorts of different stuff, RPGs, I was playing all sorts of stuff, but this morning, when coffee shops started opening up, I needed some caffeine, so I decided to bring my Switch 2 and just sit there and kind of do a couple laps in Mario Kart while I sipped my mochaccino. And that's really when it kind of dawned on me. Let's talk about graphics, let's talk about power, and let's talk about, well,
What about the backwards compatibility? I think that would be a very important thing that you should cover in this video, considering that would be one of the first things that I've covered, especially with the huge library of Switch 1 games that I've had. If I had a Switch 2 day one, I would have definitely covered the backwards compatibility, because I think that's something that most people know. We already know about the power. We already know about all these other aspects. So telling people about these aspects, I'm not saying they shouldn't be mentioned, but we already know about this. I don't really think that should be the sake of this video.
The problem. So the biggest thing about the Nintendo Switch 2 over the Nintendo Switch 1 is the power boost. That it is a bigger, stronger console that is technically possible to play 4K 60 FPS. Some games are going to run at 120 FPS. Of all my testing so far, nothing runs above 60 FPS. No game I bought, nothing I've seen, nothing yet plays over.
You is a lie. What are you talking about? Now, I don't know if that fast RMX is a new Switch exclusive, but I can guarantee that 60 FPS. Bro, why are you lying? Bro, for all these games got 60 FPS patches. What are you talking about? I heard Mario Odyssey's at 60 or something like that. You are lying, bro. Bro, this is the type of stuff that makes people be like, yo, man, I can't mess with this dude's channel, bro. I can't, bro. You was really lying?
20 FPS. Of all my testing so far, nothing runs above 60 FPS.
Nothing runs up. Bruh. Listen, bruh. I get it. You got to keep the AC on low, man. I understand that. But come on now, bruh. Nothing runs at 60 FPS. Not even the games that you purchase on the Switch 1 that have free upgrades. What are you talking about? Now you're just single-handedly lying out your teeth, bro. Come on, bro. I don't know as gamers how y'all can still stand for this. This is crazy, bro.
No game I bought, nothing.
No game that you bought.
Seen, nothing yet plays over 60 FPS.
Street Fighter 6 don't play at 60 FPS. Bro. Now, maybe he didn't buy it. Oh, he probably bought Cyberpunk. That way, what game did you... I guarantee Mario Kart World's running at 60 FPS. The game that... You know what? Yo, what are we doing, man? I'm joking. We joking with this video, bro. I'm just gonna start clowning. At this point, this ain't even a real video.
Honestly, you know what? That's fine. As long as it runs at 4K, I'm happy. But even the games that do run at 4K...
This doesn't run at 4K. I heard it runs at 1440p at 60. That's what I heard.
They don't look 4K. I don't know what the deal is.
Just like that overpriced PS5 Pro. I can't tell the difference between that and the base model.
Seeing it in the Nintendo exclusives, I didn't see an option, hey, enable 4K. A lot of these games just don't look better. The thing that made the original Nintendo Switch so great at launch was that it was the Zelda machine. That, honestly... Breath of the Wild might be one of the best games ever played. And this week, I've been doing a fresh playthrough when I converted it over to the Nintendo Switch 2 version, which, of course, costs $10 for a graphics patch.
Well, hold on. PlayStation Fanboy complain about $10 patches? Hold on, didn't you do that for Last of Us Part 1, Last of Us Part 2, Days Gone Remaster, Horizon, and every other game that's from PS4 to PS5? And you out here complaining about $10 upgrades?
When I started playing it, it really doesn't look that different. This is supposed to be 4K 60 FPS.
Oh yeah, I thought the same thing when I played Last of Us Remake for the 3rd consecutive time on my PlayStation 5. Oh wow! I didn't notice anything either.
And I guess better assets, but it doesn't really look like it. A bunch of these Nintendo Switch 2 patches.
He even bought Bravely Default. He even bought it. Hold on. You see this? He bought that. The game that, look at that. Exposed. Look at that. You bought Bravely Default, the game that ain't on the cartridge. It says right there, software download complete. You bought a game for the Switch 2 that you said that you was against game key cards. You said it. Ultra Dark, he said it. Ultra Dark Slayer, we need another video. He said it. And you bought one. It says it right there, Bravely Default, the new one. And that's not on the game, and that's on the game key card. What you said you was against. Wow. Bro, you taking too many L's with this one.
Not see anything in here that felt impossibly complex or so advanced. Every other system, the Xbox Series X, the PlayStation 5, all that stuff, when you play it, it had a launch game that went, oh yeah, there is no way this could have possibly run on the previous generation.
Oh my, y'all like games, you having a field day with this one. Okay? Like we're gonna cut out the theatrical. What are you talking about? The PS5 launched with a Demon's Souls remake. A game that came out on PS3. What are you talking about? Xbox barely had nothing. And if you want to count Halo Infinite, that was also running on the Xbox One. So what are you talking about? Oh, but they were next gen. It was PS5 and Xbox with next gen. Really? Because the last time I checked, y'all were playing PS4 games enhanced. And same thing with the Xbox One. What are y'all talking about, bro? Y'all were playing the same games from PS4 at 60 FPS. That's why I kept clowning y'all, talking about this is the generation of Re.
Big time out to be when it comes to Nintendo Switch 2. Cyberpunk doesn't look the best. Obviously, I've played a lot of hours of Cyberpunk.
I think it looks okay.
On PC.
It looks
okay. A ton of
okay.
hours on Xbox and PS5. But
you're comparing the Switch 2 to a PS5, bro? Bro, it's a tablet. As far as I'm concerned, it looks good enough, in my personal opinion.
Fair point, but it's weird that there's actually a whole list of games that if you try to type in on the Nintendo Switch store, they just don't appear on the screen.
See, now that's important. This is something that should be brought up to people's attention, and I kind of knew this was going to happen at the launch of the Switch 2, and like I said, look, it's already happened already. If you, like I said, you want to continue to play your Switch 1 games natively, I would recommend still holding on to your Switch 1s, even if you have a Switch 2.
I feel like they should have done at least 5, but it's Soul Calibur, it's F-Zero GX, and it's also Wind Waker. I was most excited to play Wind Waker.
Okay.
The emulator on the Nintendo Switch 2 seems extremely basic. Like, it looks downright blurry at times. The HUD of emulators and stuff, I have seen good, clean upscaling. I've seen more good upscaling than bad upscaling, so I'm kind of shocked to see an official version of these games coming back, and it's the crappy version. It looks terrible.
Of course it's the crappy version. It's the version from the game. Guys, come on, man. Listen, I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying they could have done a better job. I'm not saying that. But we already know this. This is the GameCube version of the game. You're acting like this is the Wii U version. We know what version this is.
It's so irksome. It's because there is Twilight Princess HD, there's Wind Waker HD.
Bro, I swear, bro, I'm trying to give this man... What are you talking about? Yeah, and that's not the version you got. It's called the GameCube, not the Wii U! What are you talking about? How are you going to expect the GameCube version to look better than the Wii U version, which they actually enhanced? That's the version you wanted through the GameCube? Now, mind you, that would have been amazing, but it's a GameCube emulator. You get what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. I just think this is a bad take.
I feel like they purposely gave us a bad version of these games, so later...
What are you talking about? Purposely gave... These are the versions that you got when the GameCube came out. You didn't get unless the Wii U came out when the GameCube came out, then last time I checked, this is a GameCube emulator, not a Wii U emulator.
They can sell you a $60 port of Wind Waker HD. And to me, this is what... This thing exists to print money. And I'm sure you're going to say, oh, everything exists to print money. But
Yeah,
my
you're
thing is
ridiculous,
that
bro.
this exists to print lazy money, and that's my problem.
Oh, you want to talk about lazy? Look at what PlayStation is doing, canceling all their games. You want to sit there and talk about lazy? At least Nintendo actually launched it with an exclusive. At least it has exclusives, something the PS5 don't have. And you want to sit there and use this argument against Nintendo fans? Now, mind you, there's so many different things I can say about Nintendo Switch. Don't get it twisted. But this is ridiculous.
With it, even stuff like there is now filters on Nintendo 64 games, CRT filters. Another thing I want to talk about that I actually think is just so stupid is the game chat button.
Yeah, we already know this.
On your controller, I genuinely regret buying this thing.
Then why'd you buy it? Like, what was the point of buying this? You regret buying it, but you bought it. Matter of fact, you had it pre-ordered. When you was dropping all these hateful videos on Nintendo, you already had it pre-ordered. That's how you walked out on one at midnight. Launch. And now you want to sit there and talk bad about it, which is fine. You bought the product. You can say what you want. But it comes off very disingenuous because these things you was already established. You already knew this. So why are you going to get mad about something you already knew after you give Nintendo your money?
Feels like it has a worse battery life. I've seen a lot of people already testing it. I haven't fully run it dead, but even in the course of filming this video, literally in the course of filming this video, it has already gone down 10%. Literally sitting here playing a little bit of Cyberpunk. Literally here in 14 minutes, it went down 10%. I went from 90% to 82%.
This also happens on the Steam Deck. If you play a demanding game, the battery drains faster. We are fully aware of how this works.
In 10 minutes.
The Steam Deck is not innocent out of this whole situation. It's very much the same out of a lot of these portable devices.
It just feels like the battery life, just every part of this, it feels like a downgrade. I've been playing
a downgrade. Are you serious? Guys, man, I'm really trying. Gamester with another W, man. We called it. We knew he was gonna hate on it. We knew he was gonna do this. We knew everything, bro. Like I said, at this point, you're just predictable, but it's not an improvement. I didn't know Switch 1 could play Breath of the Wild at 60 FPS. Tears of Kingdom. I didn't know it could do that. I really didn't. I didn't know if it could even run 4K 120 frames on Metroid. I didn't know the Switch 1 could do that.
Nintendo consoles now for my entire life, but I've been reviewing them specifically now for about 12 years. I've got old pictures of me.
I don't care, bro. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, man, Dreamcast guys at it hating on Nintendo again because that's all he could do. Now, mind you, if this was respectable criticism, I would have no problem with the way you did this video, but it's very disingenuous, especially after you told everybody in this community to not buy one. And you had it pre-ordered, you picked it up at launch, and now you have buyer's remorse. Guess what? Nobody cares. Enjoy your Nintendo Switch 2, and if you got a problem, we'll get rid of it, kid. But let's not forget, you're the one that supported these anti-consumer practices. So when things arise and things happen and you can't no longer stand it anymore, understand and remember that you are the cause of these problems. This is why I don't blame the developers. I've had people blame the company, blame the developer. I don't blame them. Why would I blame them for behavior that you guys are doing? How can I blame them? Because at this point, what is there to blame? You guys are responsible for the way and the direction of this gaming community is. Okay? Us as consumers. And when you choose not to vote with your wallet, well, guess what? It's going to still continue to happen. So I don't care no more, bro. This is why I just say, hey, man, I'm retro. That's it. I don't care. I play new stuff, but I don't even care. I don't care about getting trophy. I don't care about none of this crap no more, bro. Like, you guys take the gaming away. You take the gaming out of me. Like, I just do my own thing. Don't get it twisted. I'm still gaming, but I'm just chilling out, man. Playing my games, having fun, and doing what I can. And that's it, man. I'm not getting involved with this type of crap. I'll touch up on it. I'll talk about it. I'll let you guys know what's up and use these as examples of what you shouldn't be within our gaming community. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. And like I said, take care.